Alright, so I hope you can hear me, and that you can hear me fine. It's pretty late right now, and my mom might crash out if I'm a bit more loud. So I guess I'll just have to say this a little bit more quietly. This will just be a little guide for um, Ascender Incremental. Anyways, before I actually say anything, let me begin my rant that I just thought up and I knew I would forget this tomorrow. So Ascender Incremental is a very, very grindy game. I think from tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, you'll be able to see that. But getting tier 13 isn't that difficult. Even getting rune starring, I mean, that's not really that difficult. What's difficult? I'll tell you what's difficult. It's where the men peel away from the boys. It's where the women peel away from the girls. It's where the unemployed peel away from the employed. The test of patience and the depth of your wallet. Because remember, you gotta get all these runes, and they're very expensive. Anyways, what I'm talking about is hidden runes. And people have constantly asked me questions about this. So instead of actually responding to them, I'll just send them my video and force them to watch through it so I get watch hours. Now, without further ado, let's begin the journey of hidden runes. So first, you would want to do rune starring. This is just an absolute must for hidden runes. In fact, some hidden runes are unlockable without rune starring. Now, the most common hidden runes are Blizzard from the Arctic rune with 1 in 100 billion, and Blizzard gives you a very small boost to rune bulk, but also a ticket perk that I believe will be shown right here. And then not after Blizzard, but existing alongside with Blizzard, you have Aether and Vexed. These are from the Polychrome rune, and yeah, they're that. Rune luck and tickets. Pretty good for the stage of game you'll be in. This unlocks a secret talent upgrade that happens to be right between in there. And then Vexed unlocks a secret talent. I do believe it is within Realm 2 in the Arctic. And it's this. I don't understand why anyone would buy it, but I guess it's the only way you can get Ultra Runes for Robux tokens. Anyways, they Aether and Vexed are 1 in 15 billion and 1 in 50 billion, respectively. Okay, and then now we also have the, what is it called? I just forgot. We also have the Bloom rune, which unlocks a talent upgrade. This talent upgrade is within the World 2 upgrade tree. You go over here, and you can see it's right here. It's this upgrade right here. The max amount Chromium Boost Rune Luck is only ×2, but I'm pretty sure at this stage you're still using Rune Luck for the 5 million Royal rune. So speaking of that rune, it has got a pretty easy to get hidden, and that is Kingslayer. You can get 100 times Rune Luck and 100 times Rune Speed from it at max, and but you will need tickets for this. So if you do not have tickets, do try getting just anything that boosts your tickets. So Imperial, Sovereign, Monarch, Throne, Gilded, and then the 5 million beginner ones that also boost your tickets. Superstar, I actually forgot about this. It's not necessary, but you can always get it, and you will get it when you're trying to get Overlord, but it's from the, this thingy, and it will unlock this talent right here, and it gives you a little bit of a multiplier to your energy. Not sure why anyone would need that, but that's there. And then the next runes that are pretty much kind of within range are the mystery rune from basic. This is 1 in 1 trillion, and the thorn rune from nature. This unlocks a ticket perk, which I believe, okay, any ticket perk that you don't see here, go to the second world, the realm 2, to look for it. I believe this ticket perk is in realm 2, and yeah, this I think is as well. Okay, so after mystery, I think there's something that's 1 in a quadrillion. I'm actually not. Okay, so I know there's Abyssium. That's 1 in a quintillion. Let me see. Okay, so let me actually check. There is an official guide. Well, it's not really official. Okay, so you want to go for 5 million royal. After Kingslayer is this rune right here. I'm not going to say the name because I don't agree with it, but there's the name. There's that rune. And then you have from the polychrome rune Abyssium. Do remember, once again, hidden runes are a arduous process, and it is not easy. Okay, so if you're stuck somewhere, you're probably just experiencing the same thing everyone else is. However, if you are stuck somewhere where it also has a ticket upgrade, um, just if you're like stuck to where you're barely getting any more tickets and you've maxed out everything for that rune, try getting the next rune in the order so that you can maybe get that ticket upgrade you've been waiting to get. Okay, also, do you remember Robux tokens for the hidden towns play a major part of this? So you will probably need AFK for a very long time. Um, Chests, which sometimes spawn instead of monsters, are actually a good way to get Robux tokens, besides just playing just normally. Okay, so after Abyssium, you've got Prosperity, which is also from 5 million Royal, seen right here. It gives you a nice little chest chance, right? Okay, after Prosperity is Oscillion, which comes from the Polychrome rune, 1 in 3.33 octillion, and gives you rune luck and more rune bulk. Now, I'm gonna just show you one of some of the secret stats, because there's 3 secret stats I know of so far. They're pretty useful. I get more than normal secret stat. Whoa, I get more than a normal amount of secret stats because of, I think, one of the madness runes does that. Um, so that was loot. If you didn't see that, you should go back into the video. And then over here is haze. Bruh. My avatar is a little bit big, but over here is haze. I cannot claim any because I already claimed one. And then if you climb this tree, you will find up here, what is it called? Hail. You'll find hail up here. Alright, so there's hail. I also cannot claim this because of my timer. Now, back to what I was saying. So, after Oscillion from the Polychrome rune, and I will assume you know where the runes are. I'm not gonna tell you where they are, but the basic rune over here has I should speak up a little bit louder. Okay, so the basic rune has hyperfinality, which there's that. Now, hyperfinality is the first, I believe, of the exponential runes. Within the first, 1 or 2,000 hyperfinalities, you're going to see a tiny difference. But I think at 2,000 or something like that. Let me see. Hang on. Yeah, at 2,000 it gives you like a times 2 boost, but at 4,000 it gives you a times 4 boost, and at 6,000 it gives you a times 8 boost. So it ramps up really fast. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, it ramps up really slow, but once you get to a certain point, it goes really fast. Okay, but anyways, um, I really don't want to sound like an ASMR video, so I'm gonna speak up a little bit more clearly. Um, After hyperfinality is OK Garmin Video Spectrum or something like that from the Cryo Rune. Now this gives you wow, what a glorious rune image. But it gives you a multiplier of tickets. Now hyperfinality, I believe, gives you a ticket perk in the second world that multiplies your rune speed. See where I'm going with this? You cannot max it with at this stage alone, I'm pretty sure. And so you'll have to then use this to then max hyperfinality's boost. Now, after this, which it's just called Garmin when you get it, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just gonna call it Garmin. After this is it is Gleam from the Color Rune, and that gives you these two. These are thankfully not um, they're thankfully not exponential. So yeah, that's really great. After this is Shift from the basic rune. It gives you walk speed, nice, and it gives you plus rune bulk. This will take a while. It's yeah. This will also unlock a hidden talent, which is right here. Very useful talent. It costs Robux tokens, however. And before I say anything, before I go any further, I will say this: uh, do not spend your Robux tokens on um, on this. Do not spend it on this. And I would recommend not to spend on this or this or this. All right, it's it will be not it is not worth it. Uh, the and also once you get from Arctic later in this, you will unlock from Frostbite. It unlocks a talent. If you ever find that talent, it is like plus 50 million rune bulk. Do not buy it. Uh, the reason is because I believe not that array. Look at array. Look at what this does. Plus 50 million is nothing compared to plus 25 million billion. So yeah. Anyways, where was I? Okay, so after shift, you go to Arctic and you've got mirror. I was glazing this rune a long time ago, but now look at you. Look at you, buddy. Mirror is one in 7.5 Nova Medicillion, and it is actually less rare than another rune you might want to get during this time, which is from the 5 million beginner, Overlord. Now, Overlord is recommended to be done after Mirror. However, I alternated between Mirror and Overlord simply because it was that difficult. Now, that difficulty is nothing compared to some of the things we have coming up. After this, there's Oblivion. 1 in 50 Trevigentillion unlocks a new talent. I forgot exactly what that talent does, but because I forgot, it's probably useless. Now, after this is Immort. I'll probably be proven wrong. Someone please do prove me wrong. I know that there's a talent that one of the runes unlocks on a hill in the talent tree, and it's pretty useful. It is an exponentially stacking times 1.1 rune speed. This costs less Robux tokens, by the way, than where is it? What? What the heck? It costs less Robux tokens, at least at first, than this. So you do want to get this instead of that other one from the shop. Anyways, I'm not sure if that's unlocked with Oblivion, so you'll have to test that yourself. Anyways, so now after Oblivion is Immortality. Immortality was one of my ops in this game. Immortality, I'm telling you, this rune took me so long to max. Like I there's just no words. Okay, this thing, I'm pretty sure I overnighted it like twice or like one time, and then spent 8 more hours on it. I believe in one of my videos I described spending like 15 hours on it. Yeah. So after Immortality, you go back to the color rune, and you've got Vanta. So remember how I said one of my ops? This was my other op. I believe I spent a good 30 or 40 hours on this, maybe even 50. So Vanta's ×3 rune bulk, that is getting gotten pretty fast. But at that point, you don't have a lot of runes per second, so it's pretty hard to get a lot of this. And then the exponentiality is horrible. I think it's times 1.00000015 or 1.4015. That's insane. That's it's just incredibly bad. Anyways, after Vanta, you get Frostbite. Yay. Now you got more rune speed, and then once you've got hang on. So once you've got that, you can now go on. You have enough rune speed now to get Odyssey, which is actually what you need for the rune starring of the 5 million Royal. This is the rune you need. And however, at this point, you're probably making around a Novem Vigintillion or around a Trigintillion tickets per like tick, right? And that is not nearly enough to get 1 in 15 quintrigintillion, right? And so at this point, you'll need to go back to color and max out Vanta's ticket boost, which is exponential. And then you can go and you can get Odyssey. Now after Odyssey, um, you can get Destiny once you've maxed Odyssey. However, I would definitely recommend maxing out the rune starring for Odyssey, which I cannot show you it because I've already maxed it out. But at maxed out, here's what it looks like. It is, hang on, it has got ×10 rune bulk plus unlocking a hidden rune. I believe that hidden rune might actually be Destiny. Yeah, I think it is. Or is it? I don't know. But it is ×10 rune bulk, very useful. Uh, and I would probably argue absolutely necessary for, because also the ×10 runebook is affected by uh, Oscillion's up 1.3 runebook, the carrot boost, as well as the plus 0.01 carrot boost from the talent of, I think, Shift. And so, yeah, there's that. Um, After that, as I already said, is Destiny. These two are relatively fast. It's not much of a struggle. And then after Destiny is Squid from Nature, which is also a fairly easy rune. In fact, I just absolutely blitzed this rune. It was like 30 minutes or something, which is a really short amount of time. Maybe less than 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Um, And then after Squid is the one I'm on right now. So we finally caught up with me. It's Array. Now Squid cannot be maxed on its ticket boost. I'm pretty sure you cannot max it by just doing Squid alone, unless you're trying to pull some sort of time lapse thing, right? However, Array is here to save the day, and you got times rune bulk, you got plus rune bulk, you got multiplier of tickets. What more could you want? So now before I end the video, what else is there to say? Not much exactly about Ascender Incremental. However, there is a guide that is for something a little bit, I would argue, more important than this game, and that is the guide to eternal life, the Bible. So if you've never read it, you should read it. And especially if you're Christian and you don't read your Bible, how else are you going to get closer to God? Uh, I myself, this might be hypocritical, I myself don't read my Bible a lot, but I do try. And yeah, uh, I don't really have anything else to say. So with that, goodbye.